Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 23 of Black Canvas Grappling. Now, we're going to continue on with our final champions to a date, and then of course we are getting into our big event, which is going to be, as you can see here, Test of Champions. So, looking forward to that, and of course we have been building towards Funakoshi and Reizan Okamoto as our main event for the World Championship. So that's obviously what we're going to try and continue onto this last show. In regards to what we're actually going to do for the main event of this last tour show, I'm not 100% sure. But I think our final angle should be between Reizan Okamoto and Funakoshi. Just as sort of a way to progress into the actual pay-per-view itself. All right. So once again, we're gonna try and do some meddling. Like I said in the previous episode, we do actually have, well, we essentially have enough money now to actually get our own broadcaster. So it'll probably come in the next episode, and I'm gonna have a decent think off camera as to what we're gonna do. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them down below, because I will read through them. And I'll give you a bit of feedback on what I think. I'm kind of leaning towards Canada in my head right now, but like I said, I will do a bit of looking through, and we'll try and find out exactly what we're going to do, because it could be a bit of a risk. So I'm going to go through and just double check each and every broadcaster, each and every pay-per-view carrier that we could get as a result of having coverage in that region, if that makes sense. All right. So the main event, I think we want to just go with maybe Finley and Giant Brody. I feel like that could be a pretty good main event. We might have them take on our newest stable, which is Uragun, which is obviously Urugataya's stable. And I guess he'll be... yeah, he can be partnered by Kamisaka. It kind of feels like a little bit of a weak main event. But ultimately, it's really not going to matter too much. Now, we'll give Finley the victory. We'll have Kamisaka lose. But this is probably going to be the last loss that Uragun are gonna suffer, at least for the short term. All right, so that's the main event. I think it should be pretty good. I think it should be all right. As far as other matches, I think we want to go a singles match for Funakoshi, which can be, you know, sort of just like a little tune-up match for him. We probably want to make it a technical masterclass. So I might want to give him somebody else. Let's give him James Diaz. Obviously, he's got decent technical ability. So I feel like we've actually kind of done this match already before. We might have already done it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, they have versed each other in singles competition. Let's do it again. Purely for the fact that I want to just, I don't know, essentially make James Diaz as best as we can, as good as possible. Alright, so the next match we'll have Okamoto. And I'm not too sure who he'll... I guess, Rokumon Matsushita can be the person that he teams up with. And I guess they can maybe just take on... who can they... I guess Yokokawa and Sen. I don't really like jobbing out Sajuru Sen. I do kind of like him. Let's just go 12 minutes and we'll make this our Steal the Show match. Hopefully just get a little bit more momentum there for Reizan Okamoto. Alright, so there's that one. Go a 6-man tag. And we want to have... Let's go with Sawa and the American Cobras. And they can take on... Don't really want Suki to take a loss here either. Who else do we have? Let's go with Matsuzawa. And he can be teamed up with... maybe Team Taku? Yeah, let's do it this way. Let's have Furusawa get the victory again. He's kind of not really doing anything at the moment. As we're just sort of saving him because he will be versing whoever wins. Alright, so we need to script this one as well. Whoever wins the world title match. Alright, so that one will go there. I guess we need one more match just to be safe. So let's go with... Who is the #1 contender for our tag team titles? Can't remember. I guess it was Team Taku. Okay. That's fine. Alright. I guess with that being the case, let's just have a warm-up match for our champions, Miura and Yoshizawa. And they can just take on Cloaked in Shadows. Just to give the champs a nice victory going into the pay-per-view. We haven't really used them too much over this tour, really. Alright, there we go. And of course, we'll make sure not to mess up the placement of our matches, because that kind of cost us in that last episode, the second tour show. Alright, so angles, we want, after the main event, we're going to have Funakoshi and Okamoto. Go entertainment for both of them. Success there as well, and then of course we'll advance the storyline. The storylines aren't necessary for BCG, but you do get an increase in the match rating if it is done to a hot storyline. So that's essentially what we're going to try and go for. Now, I guess we could chuck in an angle for someone else during the show. Don't really know who it would be for. Could maybe go with Team Taku. Let's have an angle between Mabuchi Furusawa and Yoshinaka Taku. I kind of like that. This just 6 minutes. It's not going to be anything too serious, but I'm kind of hoping that it will at least be decent, and it might boost up Yoshinaka Taku's popularity a little bit. Just sort of being involved with Furusawa. Alright. Let's do a pre-show 6-man tag. Let's have Goto. Let's have... do I want to go Blast? Yeah, I guess we'll go Blast as well. And finally, Suki. And they can just take on some of our younger guys. We'll go Takanori Doi, Yuta Osono, and Shuga Amano. There we go. Let's give Blast a victory there. Just want to give him a little bit of momentum as well. We do want to keep him relatively strong, even though he is kind of our main event jobber, if that's a a label we could give him. He's never really going to be a mid-carder, but he's never really going to be that true main eventer challenging for the title, or even the champion for that matter. Anyway, this show looks pretty good, so let me double check it before we run it this time. Alright, everything looks pretty good. I'm a little bit worried about the main event. Hopefully it'll at least get a 70. Alright, so we start off with a 51 rated pre-show match, where we have Naozane Goto, Blaster Koma, and Suki defeating Takanori Doi, Yuta Osono, and Shuga Amano in just under 12 minutes when Blaster Koma pinned Takanori Doi with a Northern Lights bomb. And yeah, Suki was head and shoulders above everybody else. Only getting a 68 though, so it's not too impressive. And obviously, the match was too short. We then go in, we start the show off with our technical masterclass, which gets a 56, where we have Funikoshi defeating... I also forgot to do a generic venue, but it's fine. It's essentially the same thing as us running in a generic venue there. But we have Funikoshi defeating James Diaz in 14:51 by pinfall with a butterfly backbreaker. That's a good match. I think it's a little bit worse than their last encounter. But that might be because Funikoshi's popularity, it did drop a little bit. Alright, moving into the next angle. We get a 65, which is actually really good. And as you can see, Furusawa improvised well, and Yoshinaka Taku did a masterful job of improvising without his script. So that's encouraging, because he will eventually be pushed up into the main event in the next year or so, over the course of another year, I would say. So he's doing well. Long may it continue, because you know he does have the potential to be a proper star for us, and he's also still relatively young. Alright, so the 6-man tag gets us a 63 rating, where we have Mibuchi Furusawa and the American Cobras defeating Yoshisada Matsuzawa and Team Taku in 12:09 when Furusawa submitted Matsuzawa with a Furusawa armbar. And yeah, as you'd expect, Furusawa head and shoulders above everybody else, and Toshinobu Taku, the weak link at 52 years old. Alright, we then move into a 50 rated tag team match where we have our current champions Miura and Yoshizawa defeating Cloaked in Shadows in 11:42 when Inajiro Yoshizawa pinned Prowler Igarashi with the End of the World. Yeah, just a good match. Yoshizawa outperforming Miura, which is interesting. I kind of thought that Miura was better during the Grand Prix. Yeah, I mean, that's a good match. Especially with these guys involved. They're actually improving. They're up to like 30 in-ring performances. Alright, we then go into our Steal the Show match, which gets a 63. And we have Rokumon Matsushita and Reizan Okamoto defeating Yokokawa and Sen in 12.5 minutes when Reizan Okamoto pinned Nobuharu Yokokawa with a brainbuster suplex. And Reizan Okamoto carried the match. And we also have some excellent chemistry here. Excellent tag team chemistry between Rokumon and Reizan Okamoto. Very nice. I think we'll add them into a team so they can perform at Tag Mania for next year. Just so we don't forget. I think there was someone else that had chemistry that we might have forgotten about. I can't remember 100%, but either way. They also kind of have a similar ginger tinge. So we might call them something to do with that in their hair. Maybe ginge tinge? I don't know. That's pretty bad. Anyway, moving on to the main event. Doesn't do too well, which I kind of expected. It gets a 65, which I think it's the best rating on the show so far in regards to matches. But as you can see, Big Bruiser Finley and Giant Brody defeating Masashi Yurigataya and Kanemaru Kamisaka in 2019 when Big Bruiser Finley pinned Kanemaru Kamisaka with an Atomic Spinebuster. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good match. I mean, all relatively around the same sort of in-ring performance. apart from Kamisaka, who's just a little bit lower. But ultimately, none of these guys at the moment are like our top guys. There's no Suki, there's no Tori, there's no Okamoto. Did I say Okamoto? Anyway, Funakoshi, and of course Furusawa. So I want to get Finley up there, and I think we can do it. But it's we got to get rid of his morale issues as well, which is probably, I would assume, dragging the match rating down a little bit. Yeah. So they're penalized for holding back, and he also got penalized for low morale. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but anyway, doesn't matter too much. 65, it's still pretty good. It's still going to, it's not going to increase popularity in Kansai, which is pretty much guaranteed no matter what we do. But it will increase popularity everywhere else. And then we finish off the show with a 61 rated angle. And of course, Funakoshi and Okamoto have their last words against each other going into the pay-per-view, Test of Champions, where Okamoto has a chance to win the world title. Alright, so the overall show rating getting us a 64 there. So like I said, it's a little bit lower than what we've gotten over the last few episodes, but it really just doesn't matter too much because we aren't... Obviously, it's above our popularity. It's above 55. As long as our shows are above 55, we're not going to lose any popularity in Kansai, and we're always going to increase as long as it's above 55 in all the other 7 regions. So I'm starting to think that we might want to use different people in the main events, just so it's a little bit less repetitive, and then we can also do like our big sort of stable matches that I want to start getting into. So that's going to be interesting. We've also got a pay rise request here from Noritoshi Miura. And he's no longer wanting to be paid 50 per appearance. He wants 300. So we'll give him his 75% increase. And I just smacked my desk. All right, so let's get into the pay-per-view. Test of Champions, here we go. I am going to book the main event first. So if you don't want that spoiled right now, I'm not going to speak out what I'm booking. So maybe look away from the screen for a second if you don't want it spoiled. We'll get into that in a second though, because we've got this little note here. Toshinobu Taku has announced that he will be retiring from active competition in 3 months. Okay, well, that's not good. And it's not good because I don't think Yoshinaka, his son, is ready yet. Yeah, so we got 3 months to try and get Yoshinaka Taku ready. Yeah, that's kind of thrown a bit of a spanner in the works. Yeah, so he's actually not going to make it to the Lions Raw, which is our season finale event, our big sort of yearly pay-per-view. So that kind of sucks. So he's not going to be around for that, which would have been nice to have him, be sent off. But I do think it is kind of time for him to be winding his career up. He's actually 53 now, I didn't realize. Anyway, with that said, we might do something interesting on this show in regards to him. Anyway, let's get our Shogun TV deal booked in there. And then, of course, we've got some other matches already on the card. Now, the expected attendance is almost 6,200, so I'm kind of wondering, do I want to go with a generic venue, or should I go with the 5,000 seater. Yeah, that's a tough one actually. Well, I think we were obviously in this stadium. It's more of just a region. For the last one, I think let's just go with a generic venue. I kind of just want to see what happens. Hopefully, we'll still get about 6,000 minimum, which would actually be more beneficial for us than going in the 5,000 seater. All right, we also have a backstage incident, which oh, that's perfect. So Furusawa has now taken both Mitsukuri and Kinoshita under his wing as proteges. I think we're going to put them into a stable together, all three of them. And they might be joined by someone else. I really like that. So that's awesome. So now, yeah, Mitsukuri is going to be helped out as well by Furusawa. I really want to get to medium size so we can make sure we keep Furusawa. Because I feel like if we lose him to Pride Glory or Burning Hammer, we could be in a pretty bad position. So I really want to get him on a ironclad written contract. Anyway. Alright, so we do have that one match already pre-booked in, so we'll add that to our booking sheet. Let's give it to Mida as well. We're going to go 16 minutes on it. We're going to do it. It is slow built, isn't it? Yeah. Alright. So that's fine. It is what it is. Alright, so right now, if you don't want the main event, the world title match to be spoilt, look away from this screen right now. Because I'm booking it. Alright. So Funakoshi and Reizo Nakamoto will be taking on each other. We'll only give it 20 minutes. And obviously the world title is going to be on the line. Alright, there we go. You can now look back at the screen. There are no spoilers for our main event. However, if you don't want the tag team title match to be spoiled as well, then I suggest you also look away and possibly just listen to what I'm saying. Alright, let me just double check something here. This one's going to be interesting. Might be a bit of a swerve. Maybe not. But it's just something that's hopefully going to help everybody going forward. Alright, so there we go. That's the World Tag Team title match booked as well. Hopefully you didn't see any spoilers. But I feel like that's going to be interesting. It's going to change up a few things. Obviously, I might be giving a little bit of a spoiler away there. Anyway, up next, we're going to go with Giant Brody and Naozane Goto, the rematch for the Challenger Series title. I think we have to keep it at 10 minutes from what I remember. So, Challenger Series title. It is essentially just a rematch, and basically I don't really like Goto, so Giant Brody's going to get his first title defense there as well. Okay, so I think that's kind of everything that we needed. What I'm going to do next is just do a bit of a random tag team match. And we're going to have Furusawa and Suki. And they're going to be teaming up with each other. And I think they're going to take on the American Cobras. I think that's going to be a really, really high-rated tag team match. It's going to be quite impressive, I feel like. And I might actually make Maida the road agent for that one. Alright. So, this match hopefully can be the steal the show. And I guess this one could be our storytelling match as well. That's fine. Yeah, so that doesn't need to be... I guess this could be our technical masterclass, and I just realized that I didn't need to make this a storytelling match. For some reason, I'm thinking about the TCW live stream series that we need a storytelling. Anyway, technical masterclass is going to be the first one. What other problems do we have? Didn't I make that technical masterclass? I guess I didn't. Okay. I guess I just talked about doing it. There we go. Alright, so... I think we'll have an angle for Funakoshi prior to the main event. Which I feel like is pretty good for him. Should rate pretty highly. What else do we need to do? I guess we could give an angle to both Sawa and Suki. I think we can give it 8 minutes as well, because we're only going to have 2 angles. I'm not sure if they're both in the world title storyline, but if they're not, then I'll add Suki in. I know Furusawa is, but I'm just not sure about Suki. So yeah, we'll add Suki in here as well. Alright, we've got a lot more time, so we can do a few more things. So let's have... Yeah, let's have Tori and... Yeah, I guess we'll continue the Shining Force storyline that we're going with. I did want to have them lose, but I don't really want to have them lose to anyone here. Let's go with maybe Yokikawa and Sen. Either way, I feel like that's going to be a pretty good match for both teams. And we're going to, of course, give Tori the victory because that's essentially how things are going to go. Referee. I might make this one... Let's move this one back one. And then I'm going to make this the calm the crowd match. I just want to bring them down and then bring them back up as well. Because I want this main event to rate pretty well. I feel like it probably could get an 80. Obviously, there's no morale issues between these guys, so... From what I can tell. And obviously, Finley does have morale issues, so... His match being calm the crowd... It's probably not going to be the best match in the world anyway. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good. We do have a little bit more time, so I guess we can put another match on the card. Let's go with a 6-man tag. And let's go with the formation of our newest stable, so Eurogun. So Masashi Uragataya, and then Kamisaka and Kiyotaka. And I guess they can take on... let's go with the Wild Animals, and they can be joined by Dreadnought as well. And this will be our final match on the show. We'll give Uragataya the victory as well. I mean, realistically, that should probably be the calm the crowd match. Yeah, I guess I can go there. Alright, so that actually does look pretty good. We do still have a few more people left over. Let's do a triple threat tag team match, and we'll just throw in our other tag teams that we haven't used. And I guess for this one, I kind of want to give it to our boys, Mitsukuri and Kinoshita. So let's give it to Mitsukuri. It is, of course, just going to be a pre-show victory. And the loser can be Igarashi. So that's fine. And then I guess we'll do another one. And let's have Blaster Koma and Ginji Kisaka team up. And they can take on Iki Hisaka and Shuga Amano. And that should be good. That should be it. I think we're fine now. I'm pretty sure we've used like everybody that we kind of need to be using. Maybe Okamasa, but I mean, we may as well just go with another tag team match as well in the pre-show. So let's go Ipitsutsai and Okamasa, and they can take on Yuta Isono and Suguru Emoto, I guess. And we'll give the victory to Okamasa. Alright, nice. There we go. That should be pretty good. It looks like a good show to me. And we've really, like, actually used pretty much everybody. Alright, let's run it. So we start off with a 44 rated triple threat tag team match on the pre-show. And of course, we have Mitsukuri and Kinoshita defeating Cloaked in Shadows and Sotomura and Ozawa in 12:21. The order of elimination was Cloaked in Shadows first, and then Sotomura and Ozawa. I mean, it's an okay match. Prowler Igarashi also off his game there. Anyway, moving on to the next pre-show tag match, where we get a 44, where we have Ipitsutsai and Okamasa defeating Yuta Isono and Suguru Emoto in 12.5 minutes when Shiruku Okamasa submitted Yuta Isono with a Scorpion Deathlock. Obviously, Okamasa head and shoulders above everybody else. And the final pre-show match getting a 43, where we have Blaster Koma and Ginji Kisaka defeating Iki Hisaka and Shuga Amano in 12.5 minutes when Blaster Koma pinned Iki Hisaka with a Northern Lights bomb. And yeah, unfortunately, Iki Hisaka was really off his game. Alright. Wow, we then start the show off with a 77 rated angle with Mabuchi Furusawa and Suki. And yeah, they're basically in the ring. And of course, they're in a tag team match up next. And they do actually shake hands with each other. Essentially putting to bed any animosity they had between each other. And it almost looks like they're aligning themselves. Almost got the right word there. Aligning themselves with each other. But obviously, nothing has been said to the fans. They said that when they're speaking on the microphone, they basically say that they want to put the past behind them so they can work together to maybe have a prosperous future. And they pretty much leave it at that. Shake hands, and of course, their important tag team match is up next, which probably will beat the main event, getting a 76 here for our technical masterclass. And we have Mabuchi Furusawa and Suki defeating the American Cobras in 20 minutes, 27 seconds when Suki submitted Storm Spillane with a Suki Special 3. And yeah, Marvel was the weak link as he was really off his game. So this match could have been even better. And Furusawa got an 87 in-ring. And then we had a 73 for Storm and a 78 there for Suki. And that 55 by Marvel really probably dragged this down from like maybe a 78 or above. So it could have been a lot better. Also, we did actually get the 6,200 people in our generic venue. So that's perfect. Essentially making the most money we could have. That's a really good match though. I'm happy about that. And these two, really happy they don't have any negative chemistry. Alright, we then go into our Challengers Series title match, which gets a 53, where we have Giant Brody defeating Naozane Goto in 9:55 by pinfall with a single-handed chokeslam. Giant Brody making defense number 2 of the BCG Challengers Series title. And yeah, Giant Brody was really off his game this time. So that's a little bit annoying, but the match actually did better than what it probably should have done. So I'm kind of happy with that. It's okay. But yeah, Brody got a 59 on that last tour show in the ring. So yeah, this could have been a lot better actually. All right, we then go into a 53 for our new stable being formed in Eurogun. And of course, we have Masashi Uragataya and Kamasaka and Kiyotaka defeating Dreadnought and the Wild Animals in 12:19 when Uragataya pinned Wild Red Stallion with a jumbo backdrop suplex. Yeah, just a good match. And of course, we're going to put these 3 in the stable now. Can't really give them an angle to actually do that. But obviously, I think they had a beatdown angle 2 episodes ago. So that was kind of the start. And obviously, this 6-man tag has essentially solidified themselves as an alliance, as a faction together, and as a stable. So Eurogun is going to be created. We then move on to a 65 for our World Tag Team title match. And as you can see, we have Team Taku defeating Miura and Yoshizawa in 1931 when Yoshinaka Taku pinned Inajiro Yoshizawa with a full Nelson bomb. Team Taku win the BCG World Tag Team titles. And of course, Toshinobu Taku essentially says that this is his last ever title run. And he's absolutely delighted to win the titles for one last time before he's going to retire a little bit later this year with his son. And he's so proud that his son actually managed to get the pinfall victory there. 65 is pretty good. I'm happy with that. All right, we then go into a 61 rated match where we have, Big Bruiser Finlay defeating Rokumon Matsushita in just over 16 minutes by pinfall with an atomic spinebuster. And as you can see, Rokumon was visibly tiring towards the end of the match. You know, we did know that was going to happen, obviously being 16 minutes long. But my thought process is the best way to improve someone's stamina is to probably push them in longer matches. So I want to get Rokumon up to at least, if he can be able to put on 20-minute matches, that's kind of our minimum for our top level guys. So as long as he can do that and we can get him into that sort of position, that'd be great. But as you can see, they also have pretty good chemistry together. So we might come back to this match in the future as well. All right, we then go into a 68 rated tag team match where we have Shining Force defeating Yokikawa and Sen in 14:16 when Binraku Tori pinned Nobuharu Yokikawa with a flying forearm off the top rope. And as you'd expect, Tori was head and shoulders above everybody else in the match. Yeah, good match. 85 in-ring performance from Tori. Really good stuff there. All right. That's a bit of a letdown. We go into a 55 rated angle for Funikoshi prior to the main event. But as you can see, he struggled when going off script. So I guess we'll script Funikoshi from now on. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But the angle did get the crowd hotter, so that's kind of a good thing leading into the main event. All right, here we go. The world title match. Okay, it gets us an 82. That's pretty surprising. I didn't think it would actually be that good. And we have Funikoshi defeating Reizan Okamoto in 20 minutes 13 seconds by pinfall with a butterfly backbreaker. And we have Funikoshi making defense number 5 of the BCG World Championship. Yeah. Good stuff. That's a really good match. And obviously at the announcing and the color commentary have kind of dragged that down. So yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, they're kind of the only two negatives. So if we did have better announcing, better color commentary, that match would essentially be maxed out at its highest level. So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely happy with that. Finish the show, we get a 78 for Test of Champions, which has increased our popularity in Kansai and all the other regions in Japan as well, so that's perfect. And I have to say, that was a really, really good pay-per-view. I feel like I booked it really well, as, you know, we did have a title change, which I think is pretty cool, especially with the whole retirement angle that we're going to go with for Toshinobu. And then, of course, we had a title defense from Brody. You know, you might have thought, if you hadn't actually watched me book the match, that maybe Okamoto might have won the world title. But obviously, Funakoshi, he needs to retain. He needs to have a proper title run. And he's doing just that at the moment. Anyway, speeches. We'll go with Big Bruiser Finlay. Let's go with, I think Okamasa has morale issues, so we'll go with him as well. And then I think, just trying to think who else actually has morale issues. Obviously, Okamoto doesn't, but I think we'll praise Okamoto. Because he did actually perform pretty well. I think he got like an 81 to Funakoshi's 83 in-ring performance. So 81's definitely good. And considering back in the Grand Prix, the guy was literally getting like 65. So, you know, he's come a long way. Anyway, Test of Champions got a 0.07 TV rating. Just under 54,000 viewers there. So that's pretty good. Hopefully that'll equate to a little bit of broadcast revenue. Anyway. The next thing we've got to do is add in our new stables. Stable. So this one, obviously, it's going to be called Eurogun. Just like that. Capital letters at the start. Obviously, gun just being in lowercase. And it's going to be Masashi Urigataya, Kanonomaru Kamisaka, and Kiyotaka in there as well. Obviously, Urigataya going to be the leader. It's essentially named after him, the whole stable. There we go. Another new stable, Eurogun. Or Uragun. We've still got import. Haven't really done too much with import. And of course, explosive. We were going to push them. But unfortunately, you know, Dynamite Narahashi left. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the broadcast revenue. So it's okay. It's looking like it's probably going to do the same as it did last month. Maybe a little bit less, considering last month we had majority of the Grand Prix. So I'm not 100% sure where that's going to kind of find itself. Either way, not too bad. But yeah, apart from that, I feel like that's a really good episode. Let's just check the size. We have actually gone up to 56 in Kansai. So that's awesome. We're literally 3 points away from the popularity we actually need for medium size. And then we're about 6 points away in Chubu for the additional popularity. We need 35 in one of our neighboring regions, which is these four. The three to the right here. And then, of course, Chubu, which looks like it's probably going to hit 35 before the other ones. So that's good. I'm kind of happy about that. That's important. We need to get to medium. Because once we do that, we can actually give guys like Furusawa, who isn't loyal to BCG. But as you can see, we need to be keeping him. He's our highest popularity worker that we have at the moment. And another guy, obviously, Suki, very similar boat, up to a 56 in Kansai for his popularity now. So we really want to be keeping them. Obviously, there are a lot of other guys. Obviously, sort of our younger guys, we probably want to get them on written deals as well. Giant Brody, Big Bruiser Finlay, you know, those types of guys need to get on those contracts as well. Not really too sure who else, because pretty much everybody else that is one of our main stars, like Funakoshi, Tori, Blastakoma, Okamoto. They are all loyal to BCG. So we essentially don't have to worry about it. I mean, Hanyu Toshisai is the only other one. So we're going to need to get him on a written deal as soon as possible. But even Yoshinaka Taku is actually loyal. So I feel like we're fine. I mean, if worse comes to worse and our big stars do get taken away, we will still have our core being those guys I just mentioned. So we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. But hopefully they don't get stolen away. And hopefully we do rise to medium and we can actually offer them exclusive written contracts. So yeah. Again, guys, make sure you leave a suggestion for where you want our broadcaster that we're going to purchase to be. It's not going to be in Japan. So anywhere else apart from Japan, maybe the US as well, because we can't actually afford the US yet for small. I mean, if you want it to be in the US, then feel free to leave that suggestion. But obviously, if that is the overwhelming response, and if I believe that I want to do that myself as well, then we obviously won't be doing the broadcaster in the next episode. So, yeah, let me know. Let me know. Like I said, I was kind of leaning towards Canada myself. As you can see, it's only going to be 725k. And I feel like that would be pretty beneficial. We'd probably go commercial, just so we can make some money. Although pay-per-view would probably make more sense. And it would probably make us more money. I might research that a little bit as well. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're a new viewer, or if you're not subbed for whatever reason. And apart from that, guys, as always, take it easy, and goodbye.